Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Off the Trail, episode 4. Today we have Cole in the Zoom with West, your host. Hello. I know it says John on my screen, but my name is West. And today is Wednesday, March 15th, which means it's March Madness week. It's really March Madness month for the rest of the month. So that's what we're going to be doing today. The first two of the first four games were yesterday. Obviously, we put out some prediction videos on YouTube that definitely has generated a lot of buzz. Some people disagreed, some people agree, but that's the great part about March Madness. First of all, Cole, how are you doing on this hump day today?
I'm doing good. It's really cold in the location I'm at, as you can see by my beanie. Surprisingly, I mean, this is the only beanie I have with me, so I was forced to wear the Trailblazers gear, not by choice. But I'm excited for March Madness, best time of the year, one of the best times of the year when it comes to sports. But the next 4 days will be super fun and entertaining, and I'm excited to go through our picks.
Yeah. And before we go through our picks, Rip City Rundown, we are doing a pool, correct?
Yes, we are.
Like a group.
We are.
And how much money is it if you want to talk about that?
So currently, I think the pot is at 160. We're hoping to get even more as uh, over the next day. I'm not sure. I think by the time this is uploaded, actually, this will be uploaded today, correct? As we're recording, because it's pretty
Yeah.
quick turnaround. But if not, all of you guys that are watching probably follow the Instagram. You've seen join the pool, because you have a chance to win a lot of money.
And
So
how much is it to join if I want to join?
$10 to join.
Oh, that's a deal right there.
$10 and right now the pot's 160. Winner gets 70%, second place gets 20%, third place gets 10%. So good opportunity to win a little cash.
Interesting. Um, on another note, we're not making cash.
No, we're not. I guess we can touch on that real quick. I guess YouTube doesn't like March Madness, even though it's something we've done for the last 2 years, and then
Yeah.
even on old channels we did it as well. But
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
don't know what to say about that one. We tried. We thought we had a very strong. I first thought we didn't do anything wrong, but I guess that's the nature of the game.
Yeah,
Um,
they don't want to see us succeed.
they don't want to see us succeed. They don't want to see the Blazers succeed. They don't want to see us succeed. Um,
Young people just trying to go out and just make a little bit of bread.
make a little bit of bread. Okay,
It's unfortunate though.
jump into the picks.
Sure, we'll jump into some
All right,
picks.
let me share my screen. Let's go here. Tell me if you can see this, Cole.
I can see it.
Beautiful. So let's just get this out of the way. We're going to Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, let me start here. Let me ask you a question. Are you one of those guys that likes to only do like one bracket and get it right, or are you one of those people that do like all 25?
So I'm not someone that does 25 serious brackets, but normally I end up doing two or three like legit brackets where I'll have a couple changes. Like for example, I'm in a pool on CBS and I'm in a pool on ESPN to where they're pretty similar, but there's a couple picks that are a tad different. Um, but then like I'll have some fun with it. I'll do a coin flip bracket. I'll do a my favorite teams bracket, which favorite teams is tough this year given the teams that I like all are not in it. But
Well,
that's another
that's
conversation
another
for the
conversation.
bubble. But and I have done 25 brackets in the past, but I don't think I'm gonna do 25 brackets this year. I'll probably do like five or six.
Yeah.
But you never know. I
Um,
could get bored later tonight and just start cranking out some brackets.
dude, I was looking last night at last year's brackets. I was horrible.
Oh, that's a good point. I wonder if I
I was like, my best one was like in the 33rd percentile. Granted, St. Peter's went to the Elite Eight and went busting brackets. So,
that is true.
uh, so anyway,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I did last
congrats
year.
to Texas A&M Corpus Christi for winning last night, but I have Alabama. We're gonna move on.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll be able to see the round 32 matchups. I'll just touch on both of those at a time. So I'm going West Virginia over Maryland.
Yep.
Um, I
That's
think
first
West
game.
that is the first game. It's always an 8-9. So about half the country, half the population in the world is gonna not be done with a perfect bracket.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know why. I went West Virginia because I think I saw something. They're just the more physical team, and they play in the harder conference. I have
Should I go
Bama.
ahead and should I go ahead and tell you who I have in the first round
Sure.
or no? I'm taking Maryland in this game. Reasoning, not much. It's an 8-9.
And then are you taking Alabama over the next matchup
I am
in
taking
this round of
Alabama for
32?
the Sweet
I'm gonna
16.
go by like mini
Yeah,
bracket here. All right, next up, I'm taking San Diego State over Charleston.
as
Um,
well.
this is
Popular
one of
upset pick though.
it is, but this is one of those games where I feel like Charleston's a little trendy and San Diego State's just gonna suffocate them because their defense
According,
is legit.
according to some people, San Diego State doesn't play anybody.
According to one of our colleagues here at RCR, San Diego State is overrated. That got some funny ones. And right now I am going Furman, but I'm probably gonna switch to Virginia. But I have Furman right now.
But as you see, as I can see, you have San Diego State going to the next round. So,
I do.
well, an upset in the first round is important. If they're not going to the Sweet 16, it is affordable to lose that first round matchup. Because at the end of the day, you just need your teams, all your Elite Eight teams to make the Elite Eight, and then you're probably going to get a lot of points.
And I will say, I kind of want to pick Virginia here because I would love to see San Diego State and Virginia play a game in a race to 40 points.
Yeah, I have Virginia in the first round. I do have them losing to San Diego State, however.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
I will definitely say I'm gonna take Furman against the spread. I just don't know. That game's gonna be really close. Furman's legit. Give me Creighton. I think
As
NC
well,
State.
NC State shouldn't have made the tournament.
No, and give me Baylor, but give me Creighton in the second round. Baylor's outside the top 100
Hey,
in
Wes,
adjusted defensive efficiency.
we've got the same picks right now. I've got Creighton to the Sweet 16 as well. I think Creighton is very underrated. I mean,
Well,
they're not
don't
underrated because they struggled a bit, but they're talented.
and just to make sure here, don't say like, oh, I got this team going deep because I don't want you to spoil the back half of the bracket.
Not spoiling anything.
All right. Next
Just
up,
going to the Sweet 16
give me Utah State
as well.
They take care of the basketball. Give me Arizona and give me Arizona.
Yeah. So we're other than the well, you have Furman as of now, and then you have West Virginia. But other than that, we're the same.
Yeah. Oh wait, are you going to see that?
Yeah, but I'm gonna close my eyes as you go across.
Yeah. Don't. People will see, but it's fine.
It's only when I'm good.
Yeah, it's still on there.
Yeah.
Frick, dude. All right, you can go ahead and look. This is my big upset so far. I have Memphis beating Purdue in the second round.
I got Memphis winning first round, but I don't have them winning second round. I've got
I
Texas
think,
Southern. Kidding.
I think Memphis is one of the hottest teams in the country right now.
I do think Memphis is really good.
And they have legit guard play.
However, FAU, I'm really like, I don't know where I stand on FAU. They're like, what, you said 30-3?
31.
However, I saw them play in person, and they just didn't look that good.
Well, I think
30-3 good. 31-3 good.
I got Duke.
I do too.
I don't think Oral can do it. I have Duke beating Tennessee in the second round. I also have Tennessee winning. I have Duke.
I think talking about Duke, I think it's interesting because like Oral's proven they can do it before, but how many teams have gone on like 2 so-called Cinderella runs? Because like I think back like Wichita State made the Final Four, and then they were a 1 seed the next year and got beat in the second round. And then you're talking about teams like I don't even know who else has made the tournament with like the same team. And you have to remember, if you don't remember, it was Max Abamus. Is it Abamus or Ambus? Abamus, Max Abamus, the guy averaging like 23 points per game. They also had the other guy that transferred to Texas Tech, Kevin O'Banner, who had a really good game in the Ohio State game. So
well, you have the 7-5 guy.
You do have the 7-5 guy, but
Duke
is too talented, I think.
Yeah. That game was gonna come down to the wire though. Give me Tennessee. Give me Kentucky.
I got Providence.
Interesting. Give me Montana State. I'm gonna take a flyer.
I'm taking Kansas State.
This is mainly because I think Kentucky's gonna win the second round anyway. I have again. This is a lot of my upsets right now. I'm gonna go back and forth, but I think I'm just gonna go with Montana State because Montana State I've read is one of the best teams at getting to the free throw line, and Kansas State fouls a lot, so Montana State should be able to keep it close. Quite frankly, I don't think they're gonna win, but I'm gonna I'm gonna take a 14 flyer. So this is my 14 flyer.
I will not be taking a 14 flyer, especially in this one.
Give me
Kansas
Sparty.
State. I got Michigan State, and I got Marquette.
And I got Michigan State beating Marquette.
I have Michigan State beating Marquette as well. Now, I think that could end up being a bad pick because I think I'm a little biased to Tom Izzo in March, but at the same time, Tom Izzo is really good in March.
The other
So
thing you have to understand is there's a great chance if any 15 is going to beat a 2, it's going to be Vermont beating Marquette.
that is interesting. I could beg to differ on that. I think there's another 15 seed that's really good. I'm not picking a 15 seed.
I'm going to go
But-
ahead and stay in this region here.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and finish out the East. So I have Memphis and Duke. I'm going to take Duke.
I am taking Duke over Purdue.
Okay. And then I have Duke beating Kentucky because I have Kentucky beating Michigan State, and I have Duke in the Final Four.
I actually have Kansas State beating Michigan State and Kansas State beating Duke. Kansas State in the Final Four.
Interesting.
I think Kansas State, I haven't watched as much college basketball as I have in previous years. It's probably because the teams I enjoy watching are good. But Kansas State's got two, I saw third-team All-Americans. One Keontae Johnson and the other like someone Noel or something.
True.
But this honestly, there's no one in this pool or in this bottom left that I am like a huge fan of. So that's why I ended up.
We'll go
just
ahead and
going with
wrap this
Kansas
stuff
State.
up too. So I have Alabama beating San Diego State.
I have Alabama beating San Diego State as well.
And then I have Bama beating Zona because I have Zona beating Creighton. But I could really go Creighton.
I have
Zona.
Creighton beating Zona, and then Creighton or Bama beating Creighton. So Bama in
Okay.
the Final Four.
So yeah, and then frick.
I didn't say anything. So we have Bama. Oh, I have Bama and Kansas State. You have Bama and Duke.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll go ahead and say I do have Alabama in the national championship.
I do too.
Okay. I got Houston. No, nothing to say here.
I've got Houston.
This is tight, but I'm going Bruce Pearl, Auburn.
I'm going Iowa. Doesn't matter. They're both going to
Doesn't matter. They're
smack by
both
Houston.
gonna, yeah, I have Houston in the next round.
But we'll take the next
Give me
extra
Drake.
10. Give me Drake as well.
Give me Kent State.
Give me Indiana.
Give me Kent State.
I like Indiana.
And give me Drake to beat Kent State.
I got Indiana beating Drake.
Yeah. This is definitely, I could lose some first round points pretty easily here. Whatever. I don't really care.
Miami's so hit or miss. They can get so hot, but at the same time, like
I will say the reason why I like Drake a lot is because they have the father-son combo, just like
we've seen that before with Georgia State.
with Georgia State, and then also Missouri Valley teams in the first round, man.
That is very true. Who was the team that hit the half court shot?
Valpo?
No, it was
Northern Iowa.
Northern Iowa. Jesperson at the whore or something.
Yeah, and then Loyola did it. Yeah,
and then we remade it.
True. So I have Drake beating Kent State, and then I have Drake in the Sweet 16. I got Pitt.
I got Pitt as well, and I got Pitt. I was picking this because I was picking Pitt. I wanted Pitt to win last night.
Yeah, the Pitt plus 2.5 last night was smackers. Okay.
Love that.
And then I have Xavier. I have Pitt beating Xavier. Pitt is my first 4 team that gets to the Sweet 16.
Wow. I have Xavier beating Kennesaw State, and I have Xavier beating Pitt. Kennesaw State, the local team.
Yeah, well, they went 1-28 three years ago, and they're back.
They're the shortest team in
I just
college
don't
basketball.
think they can do it. I hope though.
Haven't watched a Xavier game this entire year.
Give me Penn State.
Give me Texas A&M.
Penn State's got one of the best backcourts. Texas A&M is very good though. They went to the SEC championship.
Underseeded.
But a tough I feel like this is a game where I don't know. That's gonna be a barn burner. And then give me Texas and give me Texas.
Give me Texas A&M over Texas in the next round.
Wow. I'm gonna take Texas over Pitt here.
Give me Texas A&M over Xavier.
Okay. Oh, you got A&M in the Elite.
I got A&M to the Elite Eight.
And I got Houston beating Drake, clearly.
I have Houston beating
Indiana.
No, I have Indiana beating Houston.
Wow, this is the region where we really mix it up here.
And I have Indiana in the Final Four.
You have Indiana in the Final Four.
I have Indiana in the Final Four. Here's my reasoning.
Cole, you're going to be sweating so much when Kent State is tied with Indiana with 2 minutes to go.
I know. I think Indiana's going to play every game. It's going to be a barn burner. However, they've got practically the best player in college basketball, Trace Jackson Davis.
He's not even the best player in the region.
They've got who are you saying is the best player in the region?
Marcus Sasser.
I'll take Trace Jackson Davis over him.
Okay.
But then, hey, this is a tough pick because Kent State can't beat them in the first round. But at the same time,
This
other
is
than the
the
one seeds,
hey,
everyone can lose, and even the
you
one
got
seeds,
it.
I guess, can.
You got to take some risk in March. This is
Like
the reason why.
Indiana, Texas A&M is a tough Elite Eight. Hopefully, I mean, if that happens, that will be wild.
Yeah. I got sold on Kent State because they were true road game at Houston, up one with a minute left. They lost.
Saw that.
Gonzaga, they were in there tight. They lost college all the quad one games they played well, and I think they're legit. I think they're they're the best chance for 13 to upset. That doesn't mean they will be the 13, but I think that's the best chance. So yeah, Indiana's a risky pick, but also I have Drake and Kent State in the round of 32.
And
so.
I think this is something with me that is just like a theme of me over past years. Like I like stars in March Madness.
Hey,
I
you gotta
think
have
they go a
stars.
long way.
Hey, stars are very important in March. But yeah, I know I see what you mean. And I have Houston beating Texas to go to the Final Four in Houston. I think it's kind of a little storybook action.
Yeah, Houston's really good.
Um,
I think people look at Houston similar to how they look at Gonzaga in past years, but I think Houston's better than Gonzaga has been in past years, if you follow what I'm saying.
you're gonna see my last Final Four pick, unless you.
No, I'm not looking.
Awesome. Okay, here we go. Give me Kansas. Give me Arkansas. Give me Kansas.
Give me Kansas, Arkansas, Kansas.
Beautiful. I feel like I'm taking the bait here, but I'm going VCU.
Well, we're both taking the bait because I got VCU.
That's just it. You know what's interesting though about the 512s is every single 12 is like trendy this year.
You got Oral, you got VCU,
You got Drake, and you have College of Charleston.
Facts, all trendy.
Like all those could win and all those could lose. So I picked VCU and Drake, and it could easily be Oral and College of Charleston. So we'll see where that goes. But I mark my words, two 12s will win.
Yeah,
I
and
just don't
it'll
know
be
which
VCU
two.
and Drake.
Hopefully it's VCU and Drake. I got UConn beating Iona, and I have
Yeah,
UConn
beating Iona
beating
too.
and UConn beating VCU.
I have VCU beating UConn.
Hey, I don't hate it because that's gonna VCU.
You want to know what sold me?
What?
If you click on the matchup preview, first sentence of VCU, the Rams have everything you look for in a Cinderella team.
Okay, there you go.
Not probably smart to trust what everyone else is saying, but I think they are. And I also like. I'm not a huge fan of St. Mary's or UConn necessarily. So
Interesting. I got TCU.
I've got TCU as well.
Mike Miles is a beast, and I got the Zags, and I got the Zags.
I've got Gonzaga, and I got the Zags to the Sweet 16.
I have Northwestern, but I'm still debating that game.
Stinky game. The
But it's
stinkiest of all first round games.
but
I did a preview on this
gonna
one.
be a barn burner.
It's gonna be a close game, but it
Because
doesn't matter because they're both
boo
getting
booey, bro.
smacked by the
Dude,
Bruins.
I'm picking Northwestern because you know how fun it is to say boo booey.
I don't know who that is.
Boo
And I did a
booey.
preview on this game.
It's funny. And I have
No, but
UCLA.
I say it's a stinky game because if you click on like the icon to read about them, like both write-ups are just like this team is not good at this and not good at this and not good at this.
You got to think Clemson is better than one of these teams.
Yes, I would think so. And I got UCLA, but I will say UNC Asheville is the scariest 15 seed of all of them. But I
knew you
can't
were gonna say
not
that
pick UCLA.
because of Drew Pember.
Yes.
And is it Jalen Clark who's out for you for UCLA?
He is out for UCLA, which is a tough loss, but he's not one of the main two, obviously, Hami Tiger, and even Amari Bailey.
Okay, I'm gonna roll with UCLA and the Zags here.
I'm rolling with UCLA and the Zags as well to the Sweet 16.
I'm taking the Zags.
Or no, that's Elite Eight. Yeah, I've got UCLA over the Zags in the Sweet 16.
And I have UConn playing Kansas, and I have UConn beating Kansas.
Interesting. I've got Kansas beating VCU, so I have Kansas versus UCLA in the Elite Eight.
And I'm gonna guess you have UCLA.
I do have UCLA.
UCLA and Indiana. This dude is just going with his heart here.
I do think it is a little biased to go UCLA. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and get to the main point. I've got UCLA winning it all. It's either UCLA or Kansas. That is who I'm the winner of UCLA Kansas in the Elite Eight is going to win it all. Actually, I just think the winner is going to come from the bottom right. I think Gonzaga could win it this year. I think they're an
Gonzaga's
interesting
defense
pick to
is
win it all.
just mid.
It's going to come from one of those, the bottom right. That is like my prediction.
Let's go ahead and let me get you to the final four here, and you can see my. I'm going to take. I have Houston winning it, beating Bama.
Interesting.
Houston in Houston.
Interesting.
I think they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder after losing to Memphis. They're gonna get Marcus Sasser back, maybe Sweet 16, and they have one of the best defenses in the country, and defense travels in March. So, but so does UCLA. So I mean, that's a good pick too.
That is why I like UCLA more than past years. I think they have less so-called like star power because you don't have a Johnny Juzang or a Jules Bernard who in
Classic, just
past March Madnesses
absolute legends.
they tried to more like outscore. Like they honestly were like that UCLA UNC game in the Sweet 16 last year was one of the best games of the tournament. That's because this was tough shot after tough shot. This year, I think UCLA is a little bit more of a formula to win in March.
Interesting. Here's what I don't like about my bracket. Here's what I like. I don't like the fact that I have 1-2, 1-2 in the Elite Eight. That never happens.
That never
right.
happens, but I think that happens more than we think.
Probably.
Because if you didn't know, I don't since like 2010 or like since a certain amount of time, there's only been one team to win it all that wasn't a 1 or 2 seed. Now that doesn't mean that they don't make the Elite Eight and all that, but there are Cinderella runs, but the Cinderella runs typically don't win it all. Or yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
The second thing I don't like about my bracket is I don't really like having Duke in the Final Four only because Oral Roberts could easily beat them.
Yeah, but I'm the
But at the
same
same
way.
time, Duke is hot and they're just so physical. They play great defense, and I think Jeremy Roach is very underrated as a point guard.
I think Duke is hitting their stride at the right time. I do look
I
at that
know.
bottom left, and like that is a blue bloody Sweet 16.
Yeah, dude, I was watching yeah, it is. I was watching a CBS thing, and this guy was
And
going
even the bottom right.
he was going off on the what is it, the East region, the Purdue region, because he was like, Purdue's the worst 1 seed and Marquette's the worst 2. So how in the world do you seed that, you know?
Honestly, Marquette is an interesting team because I have nothing. I don't know really anything about the Big East this year.
You know what's interesting? One of my really good friends at Clemson is really good friends with Tyler Kolek.
That is the point guard?
That is the white point guard
on
Marquette, who won Big East Player of the Year.
It's going to be interesting because my Indiana pick to the Final Four is interesting. It's interesting because it honestly reminds me of previous Final Four picks I have, where I look at a 4 seed and I see they have that star, and I'm like, they're going to carry that star is going to carry them. I look back at the year I picked California to go to the Final Four. They lost in the first round to Hawaii when they had Jaylen Brown. I picked Arizona to go, or maybe
Could you be smart here?
I picked Arizona to the Final Four.
So do you be smart and just like take your medicine and say like Houston beats Indiana just to save some?
No.
Okay. Well,
this is March. We have fun.
There's a really good chance I'm betting Kent State money line in that game, just so you know.
Well, tough to throw away money like that. That's
yeah. Also, you have Kansas State in the Final Four.
I do have Kansas State in the Final Four. When my confidence level of Final Fours goes,
I hate the Montana State pick, but
it's Montana State. You got to.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're losing.
If Montana State was playing Xavier, I probably would have picked Montana State.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I watched Montana State in the Big Sky semis against Weber.
Can you scroll up? Go to your top of the bracket. So a couple teams that I think are an interest. Like, I think Colgate is interesting. Did they win a March Madness game in the past couple years, or was it just they got super close?
No, they played Arkansas 2 years ago, and Arkansas boat raced them in the second half and carried away, and then they almost beat Wisconsin.
That's what it was, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, I think, just edged that one. I think that was a 3-14. Let me just go back to Montana State. Let me just get this clip off Montana State. I watched them in the Big Sky semis and final, and they looked absolute like dog. So, but they won the conference. So They get to the line and they have good bigs, but their guards like Keontae Johnson and whoever the other guy is, they're gonna just torch them. But it's March, so
Which
I
double-digit seed do you think has the best chance of getting to the Elite Eight? Do you have a double-digit
um
seed in the Elite Eight? You have Pitt
I pit in the
and
sweet.
Drake.
I mean that's Sweet
No,
16.
that's Sweet 16. Whoops.
Um, double
Yeah,
digit
I
seed.
don't. I know.
I don't either. I think if it's double digit, I think you got to look at Pitt. Um, and I think you have to look at probably like USC
USC is interesting. You got Boogie.
or
You got
Penn
Drew
State.
Peterson.
Penn State can get hot with guard play.
It's
But
true.
that's a brutal first round matchup.
How
Um,
many how many games is it going to take for your back to be busted? Over under 5.5. Kidding.
it depends.
Depends on
Honestly,
if like
if Oral Roberts beats Duke,
yeah. See, your game is Oral Roberts Duke. Mine is probably in the Indiana game
yeah, I
or even
will
the Montana
say
State game.
the first game is Maryland and West Virginia here, and the
Which
second
is
game is Virginia Furman. So I low key might just pick Virginia so I can be 2-0.
so you're assuming West Virginia is going to win. I think Maryland wins this one.
I
You
I
want to know
like
why?
why?
Because West Virginia in the past is known for their clamps, their defense, their press. They're not a good defense this year. So what's their identity?
Uh, is defense? No, it's
Below average
offense.
defense. Yeah. It's an 8-9. It doesn't matter, but starting 1-0 always feels so good. It's like in Bowl Mania. You want to start 1-0.
I will say I think the Big Ten is suspect, and West Virginia is one of the best rebounding teams in the nation, and Maryland gets into foul trouble a lot, and the Mountaineers get to the line. That was literally their preview videos.
It will
Um,
be interesting though.
well, we have 8 minutes here, so we can keep chatting. I'll tell you things I like about my bracket. Let me. These are things that you need to put in your bracket when you have done it too. We just did it on different teams. These are the ingredients that you need to like have an outside chance at being like really good. Obviously, you need first round upsets. Um, I think you need a double digit seed in the Sweet 16. That's why I have Pitt. I think there's always a first four team that like clutches up in the first four. And, like I think Pittsburgh's going to beat Iowa State, and then Xavier. Like who knows? Xavier, they have Sean Miller, who's really good, but when Pitt's of that type of team that who knows? I think it's Pitt over Arizona State or Nevada. Arizona State would not be in the tournament if they didn't hit a freaking full court buzzer beater against Arizona. So
That's very
um
true.
let's go. So you need a double digit seed in the Sweet 16. The second one is you need a 1 seed to fall early, and that's Purdue for me.
See, that's something I normally love to do, but I don't have that this year. I mean, I have a one
Like
seed falling in the Sweet
in
16.
this same region, I had UNC beating Baylor last year.
Oh, that was such a lovely pick.
That's such a good pick.
What a game that was.
The other one you need is you need a seed outside the top three in the Final Four. Mine's Duke, yours is Indiana.
Yeah, outside
Like
the top three.
you need one.
Now,
I
at
don't
the end of the day, there's probably going to be an 8 or higher seed that makes the Final Four, and that's
maybe
just going to be the one that
number
I
two.
could see at Memphis. I could see there's plenty of teams that could do it.
Another one. You need a 7 to knock off a 2.
Mm-hmm.
At least one. I got Michigan State. I
I
think
got
you
Michigan
also had
State. I have Texas
and
A&M.
A&M. Bad A&M. You're gonna need. I mean, that's probably pretty much it. I will say this bottom bracket, bottom half for me is very risky. I got a 3, 4, 5, 6. I got Purdue going down. And the reason why I have Purdue going down is because Memphis just beat Houston. First off, Memphis could lose to FAU, and Memphis could also go to the Final Four. Like that's just March Madness. Memphis just beat Houston, imposed their will on the best team in the country, arguably. And secondly, Memphis, I don't think they beat Gonzaga, but they had Gonzaga on the ropes last year,
Yeah, they did.
and they couldn't finish. So I think they have a little more confidence.
Unfinished biz.
I think they get it done this year. But again, for you took Purdue, but you have Purdue falling in the next round. So you
Yeah.
kind of have to, when it comes to the points, you
You
gotta
gotta pick and choose which games you need to really root for.
yeah, like for example, the Duke one scares me. That absolutely terrifies me because I hate rooting for Duke. But a great example is the Virginia Furman game. I don't think Virginia beats San Diego State. So it's like might as well take a flyer there.
Good point. I
Same
do
with
think something that is the hardest to pick, but it happens every year, is there's a team that comes into March Madness either so cold or won their conference tournament, but is clearly not talented and ends up going on a run. You look at a team like Oregon State like 2 years ago
True.
when they made it to the Elite Eight, but they were, I think,
They
under
were just
500.
shooting the lights out of the
UNC
basketball.
last year was not good during the regular season, backed their way into March Madness by a couple ACC tournament wins. South Carolina made the Final Four like 5 years ago. There's
Yeah.
always one of those teams.
For me, I think the team that I would say is that this year is either going to be it's coming out of this bottom half, like Kentucky, lost to Vandy. They even like Michigan State, like that's another one. Michigan State, like Boogie Ellis and Drew Peterson could put Michigan State to bed in
I
one
gotta think
half.
Drew Peterson won't do it. Anytime I watch him, he is a bum. He is a bum.
Or he shares our last name.
Yeah. He's
Um,
solid, but he's a ball hog. And I've
yeah.
watched him like 4 times.
But and then like another like in this Baylor, unless I have a perfect bracket going into it, I'll probably be rooting for UCSB to beat Baylor
Because yeah, that is a good point.
because like might as well go ahead and secure the Creighton dub. I think Creighton over NC State to me is the biggest lock of the first round.
NC State, the issue, NC State can just get hot, but they haven't.
But again, saying that NC State will probably have a 10-point lead at the half.
It is a very interesting strategy to do to pick, like in the games where you don't have them going far, you kind of just pick the upset. But
Well, that's for this. Yeah, I don't know.
well, like there's a difference between doing it for,
I will
say,
say
Baylor,
games
USCB, and
the first round games that I have absolutely no idea for that could go back and forth on is Virginia Furman. Coming down here, it would probably be switching to Kansas State.
Kentucky Providence is the one for me. I don't know which way to go. I think Kentucky is so talented, and they could do what the year to have them to the Elite Eight. But
yeah.
since I had Kansas State moving on, I was like, I'll go with Providence.
This one over here would be picking Boise State over Northwestern, just because I feel like everyone's going to pick Northwestern just because it's Power 5, and no one knows anything about either team.
I do want to say a funny thing. Pete Nance leaves Northwestern after never making the tournament because he wants to make the tournament with UNC, and then he goes to UNC and doesn't make the tournaments. Clearly, Pete Nance is the problem.
Classic. The grass is not always greener on the other side.
Oh.
And then the last one is probably going Iowa over Auburn because that's also just whatever. It does not.
You want to know why I did not go Auburn? A, because it doesn't matter.
Because their
And B,
guards,
because their guards actually ruin games. That's why they went out in the second round last year, even though I had them in the Final Four.
I have 2 8s and 2 9s. So
I have all 8s, which is it's you say like I say it's probably like never happened before, but at the end of the day, like there's time for I don't know what I'm freaking trying to say.
You're saying like usually it's 50-50, but there's always that random year where one seed wins every time. And it could be this year.
There's never been a 15 seed to the Elite Eight. Last year was the first year. This year there's going to be a first for something. There's a first time for everything. That's what I was trying to say.
You have UCLA winning?
I have UCLA winning it all, which I don't like.
Interesting.
I said going into it I was going to pick Kansas, but I was thinking come that Elite Eight.
I'm surprised that I haven't seen a lot of respect for Alabama. Maybe it's just because no one sees them as a basketball school.
It's because no one likes picking the number 1 overall seed, no matter how good they are. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
That happened in the final or the championship. No, I think Cash. I was going over my bracket with him last night.
Who does he have winning? Houston?
I think it was Alabama.
Over Houston? Dude, I
don't know exactly. I forget now.
I think it's too good.
Duke in the Final Four as well, though.
It might be too good to be true, but Houston beating Bama in Houston. I don't know.
See, like I think that's like I feel like if it was Texas in the Final Four, they would get more of a home crowd love than Houston. Houston, because Houston's just not a big school.
It's Houston, big, Texas, Elite Eight though. That'd be a game. But again, you have A&M and Indiana, so who knows?
Texas A&M, Texas in the second round. It's a nice little old rivalry game.
True. We're gonna wrap up here. Thank you guys for listening to episode 4. It is March Madness time. I will be glued to my couch starting tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and that'll be fun.
Must be nice. I'll be glued come Friday.
Yeah. So we will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. That was episode 4 of Off the Trail.
Peace.